Tonight on Quinnipiac Live, engineers are addressing many problems affecting the world today. We'll show you how Quinnipiac School of Engineering is preparing students to meet these challenges with solutions through hands-on learning, cutting-edge facilities, and a community that inspires innovation. Join the conversation. Quinnipiac Live starts now. Hello and welcome to Quinnipiac Live. I'm your host, Katie O'Keefe, and tonight we have an exciting show planned for you. We welcome those watching us live through the Facebook and YouTube channels. Be sure to like and hit the subscribe button down below on YouTube. Like this video or ask a question in the comment section below to be entered to win our Bobcat prize pack. One lucky winner will be selected live at the end of the show. So we invite you to join the conversation. Please submit your questions in the comment section below and they will be answered live on air by our guests. And here with me are three first-year students in the School of Engineering. We have Gina Kavulich, Myriam Dubuisson, and Gina Greco. Guys, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And what I want to talk about in the School of Engineering is how this community builds one for success. Our computer science program, as well as our ABET accredited mechanical, civil, industrial, and software programs. The school is also fairly new with brand new facilities. So my first question for all of you is, what made you choose Quinnipiac's School of Engineering?
I chose Quinnipiac because of the student to faculty ratio. I really liked how it's one-on-one with the professors, and they're very nice professors. I built a relationship very quickly with my advisor, Dean Kyle, and with mechanical and civil, everyone really, because I went in as an undeclared engineering major. So they really made it feel at home for me during preview days and accepted students days, so I knew I just wanted to come here.
Definitely, and they helped guide you through deciding. That's great. And Myriam, why did you decide Quinnipiac School of Engineering?
A lot of the same reasons as Hope. Just to add on to that, I knew that I wanted to come in as a software engineering major. I didn't know what opportunities Quinnipiac could offer to me, so when I came for a lot of the sessions, I spoke with Professor Blake, who's the director, and he got me really interested in the program, telling me I could study abroad and learn about artificial intelligence and things of that nature, which was really interesting to me.
Right.
So, yeah.
And Gina, why did you choose Quinnipiac School of Engineering?
For me, it was mostly because it's close to home. It's a beautiful campus that, as I kept coming more and more, you could just tell that it's a very good program with a very close-knit community, especially like the professors. I got to know a lot of them through like open houses and everything, and I knew that it was definitely the school for me.
And so I know you guys are all roommates, so that's great. What's it like living in a living learning community in the School of Engineering?
It's something else.
Yeah?
It's definitely a good experience. I would highly suggest it. I didn't sign up for it, and then right at the last second I went, okay, let's do it. And it's one of the best decisions I made so far.
Right. So your learning living community is all engineering students?
Yes. It's all engineering from computer science to the other four, and we all live together on the same floor in Commons, and you could just get randomly put with any major, and we do activities together, and they're really fun activities.
Myriam, can you describe some of those activities?
Yeah, definitely. For example, for Christmas, we had an engineering event. We made gingerbread houses, and then we tested them on an earthquake shaker table to see how sustainable our houses were.
That's cool.
Another event was Halloween. We did the pumpkin carving with lasers.
That's cool.
So, got a little engraving of the Bobcat on there.
And wow, that was a lot of fun. What did you learn from that?
I would say that as much fun as it is, you can learn in the littlest of details about anything engineering. I'll say a better example when we went to Six Flags with the different rides on the park. The materials that they're built out of and how they function with each other and the programs to help make them run more efficiently, or the lines, those are all different aspects of the different fields of engineering that Quinnipiac teaches here, which is really nice.
And now we have a question from one of our viewers. Margaret asks, what's it like to be a female in the major that is male-dominated? Gina?
That's a very good question. I think that it doesn't really feel like it in a sense, because everybody is just very willing to help you. Like, especially being a part of the LLC, like, we're always working like in the quiet room together, working on homework, and it's just like a very accepting community.
Definitely. Myriam, you're shaking your head too?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think it's something you consciously are reminded of all the time. I feel like we're all so close and we're all friends that you just forget that it's predominantly male. And it also depends on your field of choice in the engineering majors. For example, software engineering, it's very like predominantly like male. And I could say the same for you guys with mechanical, right? Like, yeah.
Right.
But everyone's there to help each other at the end of the day, so it's kind of cool being just the only female in the class, because it's like, oh, like it's like different.
Right.
Different like perspectives.
Right. Hope, can you tell me a little bit about what ENR 110 is and what your experience is like in that class?
So ENR 110 is the basic freshman engineering course that all engineers take, no matter your, so to say, decided
Your
major.
interests, right?
Yeah. I went in as an undeclared engineering major, as I said before, and I had no idea what to do. I wanted to test all the waters, and I was not hindered because of the course, and they actually helped me out. So they loved that I was undeclared, and they really wanted me to they wanted to grab me.
Right.
They really wanted to be like, oh, mechanical? Come in here. So that's eventually what I picked, mechanical, but it's so open to a bunch of just new ideas that I think it was a great course. I really did enjoy it.
That's good. And Myriam, I know that you already had your major picked out already, and so you took CSC 110.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what that class is and how your experiences were in it?
Yeah. So CSC 110 is an introduction to computer science class. You don't have to have any coding experience at all prior to the class. For me personally, in my experience, I did. We didn't use the language that I learned in, but that was okay. The class is predominantly based to teach you the concepts of how you're applying what you code and what to do with it, instead of just learning the syntax and making sure that everything is 100% correct all the time. It's constantly learning and building on top of that.
So remember to join the conversation by submitting your questions in the comments section below. They'll be answered live on air by our guests. So Gina, can you describe some of your relationship with the faculty in the School of Engineering?
I definitely have a very close relationship with quite a few of the professors, and a large part of that is because being in the LLC, there's a lot of times where professors will just come down and maybe do some events, try to get to know some of the students. And then another thing that's really cool is that once a week, the professors and students from the School of Engineering come together to play a soccer game, and that's always really fun.
That's awesome, the soccer game you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
What's that like, playing a soccer game with, faculty at Quinnipiac,
To be quite honest, at first, kind of intimidating because you don't really know anyone.
Right.
But the more that you go and playing with the different teams, you get to know each individual on a different level, whether that's another student or like another teacher. And although I'm a software engineering major, I could say that I know a lot of different professors and different courses, and if I ever needed to go to them for help in any aspect of the School of Engineering, I know I could go talk to them, and I'd feel comfortable to do that.
Right, and that's a great resource. So Hope, how did you find your niche and get involved on campus?
I found my niche by going to the involvement fair, which is required for all freshmen, but it's a different experience because there's a bunch of tables and they want you. Every club is like, you have this interest, come here. So I ended up joining the QU Spirit Club, which is going to all the hockey games and basketball games and really cheering them on. And I recently just joined the rock climbing club by my RA. So it's really just, you could see a flyer up and I went, I never rock climbed before, why not? Let's try it, and I love it. And now I am full on board. Let's go. I'm not very good, but
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
And so would you say that you like joining activities outside of your major?
Oh yes, 100%.
What are the advantages to that?
I get to see different people, I would say. But not that I don't love living
of course.
Living basically in engineering, but I like seeing different perspectives on things and how other people see things, because I don't want to live a one-sided situation. So maybe like yelling at a hockey game really brings me on.
Why not? Myriam, how'd you find your niche?
I started off with the involvement fair. Like Hope said, I walked around a couple of tables. I had an idea of what I wanted to join, didn't actually go to any of them. Turns out I just met people around school in different classes, because not all the classes that you take are engineering based. You do take some of the university curriculum, so you meet people outside of your major through there, and I made friends like that. And there's always posters around the dorms for different events on campus. For example, we had a toy stuffed animal event, so we went together and we made ours. And then just recently I was on our app, the Do You QU organizations, and I just looked at whatever interests me. Like, I love animals, I love dogs, so I just joined Paws with People. So yeah, it's just like things like that.
That's great. And Gina, I know that you're in CASO. Can you tell me what that stands for, what it is, and why you're involved in it?
CASO stands for Quinnipiac University Engineering Student Organization, and it's just a general club that all of engineering majors can come together and just do different events, such as. And then I also am a part of Society of Women Engineers, which is solely for girls, and that gives them a really good chance to just like stand out even in the predominantly male major. And then I also recently joined the Grand Challenge Scholars Program, so that was really good too.
And now we have a question from one of our viewers. Lauren asks, how has your academic advisor helped prepare you for your semester? Is your advisor in your major? Hope, can you start us off?
So because I went in undeclared, my advisor was actually the dean of the school, Dean Kyle, and he is obviously not my major.
Right.
But he ended up helping me a lot going through the process and actually cutting down what I wanted to do. So off the bat, we really said no software, let's just get that away. And eventually we cut it down to mechanical. But he's not very intimidating at all, even though he is the dean. He's a great guy, and I loved him. And now my advisor is Lynn Byers, so she's a great woman too. And it's just, they make everything they do for you like related to you. So I said, I want to study abroad, and all of a sudden I got an email with 7 different like links on it. Okay, you should do this now. Where do you want to go? And just amazing, really. I love it.
That's awesome. And your 2 advisors, how would you describe your relationship with them?
I visit my advisor every so often for advice. For example, I'll email him like to update my resume, what I should do to fix it. He helped me a lot with my class schedule and figuring out my curriculum for the next few years, since I am interested in studying abroad and joining our graduate program. So he helped me like see how I could adjust my schedule to fit all that in the next 4 years that I have here. And Professor Blake isn't my advisor, but sometimes he acts like it. So he just always gives me different opportunities to branch out in my field and see what exactly I would like to go and do with it. Yeah.
And Gina, what about your advisor? Is he or she your major too?
Yeah, he's a mechanical engineering professor, so that's really helpful. And like, it's just so easy. I feel like I could just walk into his office anytime if I need anything. Like just the other day I was studying and he came up to me and we started having a half-hour conversation just about like how I was doing in my classes and everything.
Right. And so now we have another question from one of our viewers. Rachel asks, how was orientation? And you guys recently just went through that. Yeah. So how was that for all of you?
I guess I'll start. I think it was really fun.
Yeah, right?
It's like you meet all these different people from different places, because we do have international students here. And everyone has a different career path that they choose to go on, and they may change that at some point in the future. But it just brings people together. We did a lot of like icebreakers, which people find annoying, but it's kind of fun because you're just like doing random like stuff. And yes, you sometimes embarrass yourself and make a fool of yourself, but it's all in good company, so it's fine at the end of the day. And you just get to know people.
That's great. And you guys, you two love the orientation too?
Yeah. It was definitely an experience. I'm not gonna forget it.
Yeah.
Not anything bad, it's a lot. It's a hard thing to get used to all of a sudden, but they do such a good job of throwing you right in and saying, do it, just go swim.
Right. So it's a great experience that all QU students will remember.
Oh yeah.
But that's all the time we have for this segment. Thank you guys for joining me. But don't go anywhere, because coming up we'll talk about senior design projects and more. So come visit our campus. There are so many opportunities for you to see the Quinnipiac community for yourself. For more information on upcoming open houses, preview days, admitted students days, and more, visit qu.edu/studentslive. Don't miss your opportunity to win a customized Quinnipiac School of Engineering Bobcat prize pack. Like this video by the end of the live show, and we'll select one lucky winner live at the end of the show. And remember to submit your questions too, to be answered live on air by our guest, and to be entered to win the Bobcat prize pack. In our School of Engineering, we look to solve global issues, and we do this through global initiatives, such as the Grand Challenge and Students' Senior Design Project. Joining me now to explain more about what some of those are Sarah Veglas, Jamie Bannon, and Professor Kim DiGiovanni. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So, Kim, what is the Grand Challenge?
So the Grand Challenge Scholars Program is a program for undergraduate engineering majors that allows them the opportunity to really focus their studies around addressing one of the grand challenges, like providing access to clean water or making solar energy affordable. And these grand challenges come from the National Academy of Engineers. So they've identified these 14 grand challenges or goals for engineers to address in the 21st century to make our world a better place and to serve people in society.
So Jamie and Sarah, why did you guys participate in this Grand Challenge?
I personally think it's just a really good opportunity to just kind of put yourself out there and try different things that you may not have thought of in the first place.
And like for me, I felt like it's had to get like my 4 years of experience like at Quinnipiac, giving it a purpose, like more than just like going after a bachelor's degree. You're doing it for like a reason, and like it looks good on resumes, and it's a good talking point for like interviews. So it's a good like tool you can use to get a job for the future.
Definitely. And Kim, how would you say that this Grand Challenge program makes Quinnipiac's School of Engineering unique?
So it makes us unique. We're one of the first programs to be accepted to have a Grand Challenge Scholars programs. We were the 61st school to be accepted to hold a Grand Challenge Scholars program.
Wow.
And that's worldwide. So that's schools in Australia, China, Malaysia, India, all over the place. It gives our students an opportunity to work in 5 competency areas. So they tackle a hands-on research project, they do a multidisciplinary curriculum, they have a business and entrepreneurship component, they do a multicultural experience, so they're studying abroad during that time, as well as a social consciousness component. So at the end of all this, they come out with a certificate, a Grand Challenge Scholars certificate that not only looks good on their resume when they're going to apply to jobs, sets them apart, but also they're emerging as globally enlightened citizens, ready to tackle the challenges that we're facing in the 21st century and take on those careers.
And now we have a question from one of our viewers for Jamie. Sean asks, can you study abroad for a semester as an engineering major?
Yeah, you can. So like one of the seniors, Katie, she was the first person to go abroad that I know of. She went to Australia, and
Wow.
she was there for a full semester. But like if you don't want to go for a semester, you can go for like a summer. Like I went to Barcelona last summer to study 2 courses, so it's possible.
And Kim, can you describe what the Senior Design Project is?
So Senior Design Project is a capstone project where our senior students get to work in a team and they work closely with their faculty advisor and a technical advisor. So they might work with a client as well, and those clients include consulting agencies, government agencies, as well as not-for-profit. And they'll work on a project for 1 or 2 semesters depending on what their major is and on some topics. So our mechanical engineering students right now, there's a group working on a mechanical arm to assist people with limited mobility. Our industrial engineering students have worked on projects to improve the efficiency of healthcare and facilities layouts. Our software and computer science majors are working on projects like designing an app to help students keep track of their classes and navigate around campus, and can send alerts to public safety to make sure they're safe on campus. And our civil engineering students are working on projects related to structures, stormwater management, and redesigning bridges.
Wow. So Jamie, can you describe what your Senior Design Project is?
So like my project is a bridge in town. We're trying to figure out how to like make it stronger and find a better purpose or use for the bridge. And so my experience kind of started 2 years ago when I worked for the town engineer of Hamden through the Quinnipiac Fellowship Program.
Wow.
So he's our mentor, now our client. So we're trying to address like the needs that the town has.
Wow. And now we have a question from one of our viewers. Susan asks, what's your favorite engineering class? Sarah?
I would say all of my calculus classes have been really amazing and very challenging, which is part of the reason why I chose the major in the first place, just for the challenge. So all of the calc professors are amazing, and I don't think I would be where I am right now if it weren't for them.
I really enjoy like the environmental courses or like the courses I've taken with Professor Giovanni of like related to water.
Yeah. Why is that?
Why? It's like what I want to do with like my bachelor's degree when I graduate in the future.
Right.
Like I'm more like helping the environment, how you can get water to people. Because like the challenge that I'm trying to follow is water, or providing clean water to people that don't have it. So using that background knowledge, you could probably find a solution in the future.
That's cool. And your environmental focus ties back to building your bridge for the town of Hanlon.
Yeah.
So that's really cool how everything really does tie together. And so Sarah, can you talk a little bit about the process of transferring in the School of Engineering?
Yeah, so I was originally a health science major, and I decided that I wanted to just make the switch. So in the middle of my second semester, I changed majors, and it was really, really easy, surprisingly, which I found was, it would have been way more difficult if I had just waited a little bit longer, but I mean, all the professors made it so easy. It was just such a smooth transition. So, I mean, I would encourage anybody to explore all their options and just kind of see where they fit best.
And Kim, we have a question for you from one of our viewers. Chris asks, how many students are enrolled in the engineering program, and how has the program overall evolved?
So the program's a relatively new program. We had our first graduates in the spring of 2016, and we are slowly growing our program over time. So right now there's just around 300 and some students total in our School of Engineering, and ultimately the goal is to have about 500 students steady state. We really value having small class sizes and really one-on-one, so there's no class in the School of Engineering that has more than 24 students, and all of our labs have 12 or less students in them.
Wow.
So it's a really personal experience.
Jamie, can you talk about your experience in the classroom and those class sizes that Kim was talking about?
So for like senior year of civils, there's only 12 students. So I'm really close with them, and like I have really close relations with like all the professors. Like their doors are always open to us. Like I've gone to Professor Giovanni, like I can't tell you how many times.
Right. Well, thank you all for joining me tonight. That's all the time we have for this segment. But don't go anywhere, because coming up we'll talk about student outcomes and internships. Come visit our campus. There are so many opportunities for you to see the Quinnipiac community for yourself. For more information on upcoming open houses, preview days, admitted students days, and more, visit qu.edu/studentslive. And don't miss your opportunity to win a customized Quinnipiac School of Engineering Bobcat prize pack. Like this video by the end of the live show, and we'll select one lucky winner live at the end. And remember to submit your questions in the comments section below. They will be answered live on air by our guests. At Quinnipiac, we are preparing for the dynamic 21st century. But in order to gain experience, our students have a chance to intern at some of the most innovative companies in the world. And some of those companies are tied together. So here with me are Ryan Hanlon, Charles Zhu, and Jake Sear. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you.
So as companies tie together, I know that you all have a relationship with Sikorsky. Can you all describe a little bit about what you've done there?
So I interned. I'm currently an intern now, and I work on front end and back end web development. And we all kind of do this similar tools.
So Charles, you do a little bit of what Ryan does too?
Yeah, we're working, some of the projects that we worked on overlap. There were web applications built on frameworks like Angular.
Yeah, so my sophomore year, I got an email from Professor Blake, and he said that there's an internship at Sikorsky, so I applied to it and ended up getting accepted and working there for 2 years, and then ended up getting a full-time job there afterwards.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
And Professor Blake, I think, is a common thread too. You guys all know him really well. Right. How well would you say the faculty is supportive here of you guys and achieving your success?
I think the faculty is crucial, because in order for me to actually know about the position, I was actually contacted from my professor about it. So like they were always there to help you to like succeed. They're always there to answer questions, and like even the connection Professor Blake had to the company is what kind of led to the opportunity.
Right.
So yeah, I would say they're crucial.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And Jake, how would you say that your internship at Sikorsky led you to your job there now?
It was definitely crucial because when I started my internship at Sikorsky, my classes kind of in the internship kind of complemented each other. It's a lot of the same ideas, and what I learned in class was I was able to apply pretty easily in the internship. So I think it really helped me be ready for the workforce.
And before Sikorsky, what were some of your previous internships and out-of-classroom experiences that you had?
One of my other internships after, like kind of in the middle of Sikorsky, was at IBM in Boston. So that was kind of different from what I was doing at Sikorsky. It was more like artificial intelligence based, but it was definitely something good to put in my resume for when I was looking for a full-time job.
And Charles, I understand that you did a little bit of research. What was that?
I interned at Sikorsky for a year, and I left to do research over the summer. I worked on 2 research projects, one of which was called stock control drawing. And what we did is we took an electroencephalograph. It's a headset that goes on your head and it reads electrical signals from the brain. And we took that data, sent it to a computer, and we made a brain-computer interface, the goal of which being to let someone draw on a computer using their mind. The other project was cardiovascular perfusion simulation. So that's a process for open heart surgery, and we made a simulator as a web application to help teach perfusionist students scenarios to be prepared for when they start working.
Wow, so a lot going on there, right? And now we have a question from one of our viewers. Ryan, Tyler asks, what does a typical day look like as an engineering student, and what opportunities are available for you?
So my day is a little bit different because I'm a student, but I also still work at Sikorsky during the school year.
Wow.
So usually I just go to classes in the morning or the afternoon, and then when I have like giant time gaps, I run over to Sikorsky and then I work there, and then I actually come back to classes later in the day.
Wow.
So yeah, so usually pretty busy.
Pretty busy day, yeah.
Yeah.
Charles, what's your typical day look like?
Pretty similar to that. When I was interning at Sikorsky, same deal. I try to schedule my classes all in the morning so that once I finish classes, I can go work until 5 p.m. or something. Then I go home, do homework.
Yeah, a lot of homework probably. And another question from one of our viewers. Kayla asks, what's your favorite club on campus? Ryan?
Well, it just so happens that I'm the treasurer of the Quinnipiac Rock Climbing Club.
Wow,
and
okay.
like it's the best way to get involved on campus.
Yeah.
Like it's so much fun. Everybody, it's not like just professionals only. Like we're open to all different skill levels. It's a lot of fun.
How'd you get involved with that?
My friend actually got me involved in rock climbing not too long ago, and then we ended up taking over the club, me and a couple of friends. So now we're trying to grow it as much as we can.
That's awesome. Charles, what about you and your favorite club?
Besides the rock climbing club, I like the mixed martial arts club. I go there. We usually meet every Sunday. Just an interest of mine, so
yeah.
I want
a nice
join.
time to get away from school, probably.
Yeah, take out some frustration.
Definitely. Another question from one of our viewers. What else is there to do on campus and throughout the area? So what have you guys done on campus and around?
I would say I mainly rock climb, and I also do a lot of I do weightlifting here, and then also ballroom clubs. So there's definitely a lot of ways to get involved on campus.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And Charles?
Yeah, there are a lot of clubs. Like you don't have to be a long-time member of any of the clubs. You can just show up, and usually people are very welcoming. Before Sleeping Giant closed, I hiked almost every day. There's a lot of events from the student programming boards as well, so a lot of random events that are pretty cool to go to.
Well, that's awesome. Definitely keep you guys busy as if you aren't busy enough. But thank you for joining me tonight. That's all the time we have for our Quinnipiac Live Engineering episode. Be sure to come visit our campus. There are so many opportunities for you to see the Quinnipiac community for yourself. For more information on upcoming open houses, preview days, admitted students days, and more, visit qu.edu/studentslive. Before we leave you, we have drawn a name from all of the likes on the video, and our lucky winner of the Bobcat prize pack is Juliana Sabin. Congratulations, Juliana. Please email us at socialmedia@qu.edu to claim your prize. Congratulations and thanks for watching. In the meantime, we hope to see you on one of our campuses soon.